Kevin, thank you. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you as union members. Thank you as labor activists. Thank you as citizens of Lorain. Special welcome to Rich Trumka, the national president of the AFL-CIO, who came out of the mine workers in Western Pennsylvania. He hasn't forgotten where he's come from. He knows that the future of the labor movement's about organizing and political action and leveling the playing field so he can organize. And we are so thrilled that Rich Trumka is here. Rich, thank you. Kevin, thank you for the work you do. This is, I know Kevin's retired from his days as a teacher, but he's never forgotten the trade union movement, and he's put together this effort, and it's basically a full-time job for about 6 months, I understand, and I appreciate that. Joe Thayer, thank you for the work you do with that. And Betty Sutton and Jim Sloan. Betty, we're sorry we're going to lose you to Lorain County, but not lose you to Congress, for sure. And Jim Sloan, thank you for running, and on to victory for you, so thank you. I also want to mention Beth Timms in my office, who's here. She was our congressional district director in the Lorain County office when I was in the House, and is so good with outreach and makes such a difference for so many people. Beth, put your hand up. And she's now in our Senate office. So. I have the pleasure today of a different kind of job. I am actually introducing my wife as one of the two keynote speakers, Connie Schultz and then Rich Trumka. But I'm going to introduce Connie in a moment. But I want to first sort of paint a picture of where we've been and where we are and where we've been. You're going to hear a lot of things in this election year about the economy. You're going to hear a lot of things about Barack Obama. You're going to hear a lot of stuff about me. They've spent already outside groups, corporations, we figure, we don't really know who they are because they don't have to say, but they've already spent $15 million in attack ads against me, more than any Senate race in the entire United States. We figure it's Wall Street banks because that are spending that money because they don't like my legislation to break up the big banks. We figure it's Chinese money because they don't like my legislation to level the playing field with China. We figure it's large corporations that outsource jobs because they don't like my opposition to NAFTA and to CAFTA and PNTR with China. We figure it's the oil companies, Exxon and the oil companies that are spending money against me because they don't like what I do trying to take away the subsidies and the tax breaks that the oil industry gets. But that just means that fight's that much more important. We're going to fight, and I would rather, if it's a choice between having labor activists and the people of Lorain County or having Exxon and Chinese money and Wall Street, I'll take the labor activists and the people of Lorain County any day. So let's for a moment look back. 4 years ago, Labor Day 4 years ago. 4 years ago, this economy was about to fall apart, was about to implode. 4 years ago, Labor Day 2008, the economy went into a tailspin. We know what was happening on Wall Street. We know what was happening on Main Street. We know what was happening with manufacturing jobs. From 2000 to 2010, this country lost 1/3 of its manufacturing jobs. 1/3 of its manufacturing jobs. The reporter from the O'Leary Chronicle, sitting right here, just interviewed me, and he said, why has the labor movement lost so many members? And a big part of that is because we've lost so many manufacturing jobs. 5 million manufacturing jobs, 60,000 plants closed between 2000 and 2010. But since, and when Barack Obama took office in 2009, we were losing 800,000 jobs a month. Today, we've gained back 500,000 manufacturing jobs. We're gaining jobs almost every single month in the last 2 years. Not enough. There are far too many people unemployed in Lorain and Elyria and Ridgeville and Oberlin and Avon Lake and Cleveland. Far too many people unemployed. Far too many people underemployed, not getting overtime, working at wages too low. But we're going in the right direction, and that's why when you look at Betty Sutton or me or Barack Obama or Jim Sloan, and then you look at the people who are running against us, look at the difference. They want to go back to the same tax cuts for the rich, the same It's the same gifts to Wall Street. They want to go back to deregulation of Wall Street. They want to go back to relaxing of worker safety and environmental standards. They want to take us back to more privatization of Medicare and privatization of Social Security. They will go in the wrong direction. That's why this election this year is so important, to keep this economy, keep the growth and accelerate the growth, keep this manufacturing strategy that Roy Church talked about, and Lorain Community College plays such an important role in that, and keep this recovery going. That's what's at stake this year. Now, right before I started, Jerry Donovan gave me something I want to read to you. Pope Leo XIII was known as the Labor Pope. About 130 years ago, Pope Leo XIII, who put the Catholic Church squarely on the side of the dignity of work and squarely on the side of workers, because he knew you didn't grow an economy by trickle-down economics. You give tax breaks in those days to the Carnegies and the Mellons and the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers. Now you give them to the Romneys and the Wall Street bankers and the job outsourcers. He knew you didn't build an economy by giving tax cuts to the rich and hoping to trickle down. He knew, Pope Leo XIII knew you build an economy by helping workers, by empowering workers, by giving workers the right to organize, by showing appreciation and high regard for the dignity of work. And I want to read something that Jerry gave me. It was called the Rerum Novarum. It was the document that Pope Leo XIII in 1881 put out to the Catholic Church about workers. And he said, the primary purpose of the state is to provide for the common good. A good government protects the rights and cares for the needs of all its members, both rich and poor. Public administration must provide for the welfare and comfort of the working class, otherwise that law of justice will be violated, which ordains that each man and woman, I forgot that part, that each man shall have his due. He had a preferential option for the poor. He understood, he advocated for a living wage. He understood primarily what the labor movement's all about. That's why it matters that there's a strong labor movement in Lorain County. It's why it matters that we did the auto rescue 3 years ago. Why it matters that President Obama's enforcing trade rules more aggressively than any president in the last 25 years. That's why we have several hundred new jobs at the steel plant in Lorain, because we enforce trade laws against the Chinese. That's what's so important. And you know what the auto rescue meant. You know how important the auto rescue was in the state. 800,000 jobs were at risk. 800,000 jobs in this state are connected to the auto rescue. And you know what that meant. You know what it means with the Chevy Cruze built in Youngstown. The engine is made in Defiance. The transmission comes from Toledo. The brackets come from Brunswick. The stamping comes from Parma. The steel comes from Cleveland. The aluminum comes from Cleveland. The sound system comes from Springboro. And 5,000 workers in Lorain put that car together. Or you can look at the Jeep Liberty and the Jeep Wrangler in Toledo. The glass is made in Crestline, Ohio, in Crawford County. The steering column is made in Perrysburg. In Northwood, they make the seats. In Cary, they make the hard tops. And 2,000 workers in Toledo put it together. Before the auto rescue, 50%, only 50% of the components in the Jeep Wrangler made in Toledo, only 50% of them were U.S. made. Now 75% of those components are U.S. made. That's what the auto rescue is about. It's about Buy America. It's about making more things in this country. It's about jobs in this country. So that's why this election matters in such a big way. Now, it's my honor to introduce my wife and my hero, Connie Schultz, who is, Connie's really a better Labor Day speaker than I am. I won't compare her to Trump, I won't get in that. Because Connie, I'm not going to tell her story because she tells it so well, but Connie's dad carried a union card for 35 years. And that's why Connie had the opportunity she did. She grew up in Ashtabula. There's a gentleman, there's a Vietnam vet here from Ashtabula that we were talking to a minute ago. Where's he standing? Anyway, he was here a second ago. Okay. There he is, okay. Grew up in Asheville, served his country in Vietnam. Thank you again. And Connie is first of all grateful for what this country has given her. Second, she's grateful for what the union movement gave to her. And she is an incredible mother, incredible wife, incredible life partner. She's also a grandmother once and soon going to be a grandmother twice over. And it's my honor to introduce Connie Schultz, my wife. Thanks.